Gray, Professor of Leadership and Christian Ministries. I've been watching you for a while now, and you're different from the days when we used to run together. Also, you carry that Bible on top of your books. I wonder, can you tell me what it's all about? The question came at me totally unexpectedly. I had just sat in my seat in a 12th grade English class when the student who sat next to me got up the nerve to ask. The question came from Bob Boyer, a friend from my pre-Christian days. We had spent the last 2 years of our elementary school days running the streets of our community together. It was there that he had earned his nickname, the Bird. The Bird was one of those guys who would water in his hair and come out into the dead of the Pennsylvania winter so that it would form ice crystals. And he got his nickname because he used to love to climb to the top of those saplings and ride them to the ground. But we lost contact when we started junior high school. I got involved in sports, and I'm not sure what he got involved with. After the question, I sat in my seat a little stunned. Over the years, I'd become a high school football and wrestling star. I was one of those jocks who, had the leather jacket with all the gold bars on the side, and I'd been spotlighted by the parachurch organization that had brought me to the Lord. I've been spotlighted by them to speak in their rallies, giving my testimony and stuff. So, as a new Christian, only 2 years into the faith, they had trained me to carry my Bible on the top of my stack of books, high and proud. And they set out to do that as a testimony, to the faith that I had embraced. I grew embarrassed at the attention that we were receiving that morning, because by this time the whole class had turned to see how I would respond. Even the teacher who was writing on the front chalkboard stopped and turned to see how I was going to respond. It was one of those occasions when it was so dead silent that you could almost hear dust falling on the top of desks. So I put the Bird off, explaining that we would talk about it another time. In truth, I didn't know what to say to him. Bob and I would never talk about it. A few weeks before graduation, on the night of the senior prom, the Bird, who knew that he was on his way to the Marine Corps after graduation, decided to leave the prom with a group of guys, and they went out into the Pennsylvania forest to have a bonfire and a beer party. And in the midst of their party, the Bird decided to do his greatest feat. He found the tallest tree in the woods, and he tried to climb it all the way to the top and then ride it down to the ground. The guys in homeroom the next morning shared with me that as the Bird started riding that tree down to the ground, it broke off at his feet. And he told me how they watched as he clung to that branch, and it tumbled and tumbled. And they told me they watched how it hit the ground, and they watched the life ooze out of the Bird. And he died that night. I have never been able to forget that 2 people had to die for Rick Gray. The Lord died to save my soul, and the Bird had to die to make me get serious about this walk that I walk and this talk that I talk. So, since the Bird's death, I have made it my quest to really crawl into this faith that I have embraced, so that no one would ever again ask me a reason for the hope that's in me, and I wouldn't have an answer. In a later video, I'm going to share with you the story that I wish I would have known to be able to say to the bird that day in the 12th grade English class, "The Lord be with you."